Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker, and today what we're going to be doing is reviewing the Rabaconda starter kit. And you can buy this from $659. It includes everything you're going to see me using, because that's how I'm reviewing this. I'm going to use it. This is the 9th time I've used this to change tires, because I've changed other people's tires and I've changed my tires. I've changed 2 sets on the Z900, 1 front tire on the V-Strom. Right now I just did the front tire on the SV, and we're about to do the rear tire on the SV, plus other people's bikes. And honestly, it's been wonderful to use it. But I think the only way for you to really get a proper review is for me to actually do it. Now, if I'm at any point in this video standing in front of the kit or whatever else, I do apologize. I'll try to talk through it as best I can. So yeah, without further ado, yeah, let's start into it. One thing I just did on the SV is I changed the rear wheel bearings because they were a little bit crunchy, and obviously you don't want that when you're out on track. So did swap those out. I have spare fronts just in case I need them. If you ever want me to make another video on wheel bearings, let me know. They're pretty straightforward to do. So yeah, let's start off. So the starter kit is good because it genuinely does come with everything you really need, except a little valve core removal tool, so you will need to get that. But everything else you need is here. So to start off, what I've done is I put on the wider spindle on here, because that's kind of what this bike needs. And you'll see I've also placed, these are the magnetic kind of wheel protectors. They just snap on, these big blocks here. You can move them up and down to suit different wheels. What I'm going to do is just slide the wheel on. And there we go. It sits nicely on the wheel protectors to save your your hub and anything else you have there. Now you can use, if you have a wider diameter bearing, you can use, there's a little kind of adjusters, they're little like step up adjusters that come with this, but for now we don't need to. You also have 2 positions up here. The further back one is for your front tire generally, and the further forward one is generally for rear wheels, obviously depending on your size. And it is very quick to swap those around, because I literally just, while we were talking, swapped that round. Very easy to set up, that's why I didn't even put it into the video. You kind of just slide it all together. There's little quick releases, and that's it. It just sits as it is on the ground. So what I'm going to do now is take out this valve core so that we can get this tire off. And these tires are really old. The front one was kind of fun to get off, so let's see about the rear. Just as rubber gets old, it gets harder. So yeah. Once you've kind of released your air, now you can go around and break the bead the whole way around. This generally does require a little bit of height adjustment. So again, there's a quick adjuster back here where my left hand is, and you just adjust that to get the bead as close to the rim as the bead breaker as close to the rim as possible, and then tighten it up. It'll just make your life easier. And then you just work, which I will have to stand up for because I need some weight on this. Am I in your way? No. And you just work your way around. Like I said, this one is tough. And if you're finding it really hard to break the bead, you might have to move your bead breaker closer to the rim. But this is unusual, this tire, because these have been on here, I think when I checked, a long time. So I'm actually going to move that in just a little bit closer to try to catch that bead a little bit better. There we go. There we go. And the nice thing is, once you start breaking that bead the whole way around, it comes off a lot easier. That's one side done. So then to do the other side, you just flip it over. And that's it. That's all the beads broken. Now what I do is at this point, before we try to take this off, I'm just going to go around and get some soapy water all the way around this bead, because obviously it's kind of welded there. Next, what you want to do is, this is the ratcheting system in the duck head. You literally just slide that down over there, sit it in onto your rim, and once it's there, you basically just lock it up like that. Then, and again, this is the worst case scenario for this review because these tires genuinely suck. The front one was just as bad, so I'm not surprised this one sucks. You want to try to get the rear side of your tire kind of into your drop center. And the drop center, by the way, is the center of the wheel. It'll just make your life a little bit easier. This is kind of a, there we go, worst case scenario tire. Now we're over our duck head. So now it's pretty easy from here. Well, when I say easy, it's not. And before you kind of keep going, there's also a little lock pin, this guy here. Slides in and just sits against your spokes. There's a nice rubber head. And basically that will let us just lock the wheel in place and then work our way around. Don't worry about that. If you're not working with a tire this old, that does tend to go a little bit easier. But that's that side done. Essentially now, we need to flip over the wheel again. Oh, sorry, I'm a moron. We do not need to flip over the wheel. We just need to catch the other side. You'd think once you've done this enough, you'd remember all of the little steps, but no. Oh. So basically what I did there, I'll actually, hold on, I'll grab you and show you. So that's basically how it all sits. And what I've done on this side now is you just catch that side of the tire, and then you just repeat your process the same again. And there you go. That is that ancient tire off. So what I'm going to do now is get rid of that. I don't want it anymore. I'm going to turn off the camera for a sec just so I can clean this wheel, and also what I'm going to do is also change my valve to a 90-degree valve, which I have, and pop off any wheel weights that are there. So I'll be back. Just to show you, this is the new 90-degree valve, and that's the old one I just literally cut out of there. It's the easiest way to get them out. So the 90-degree valves you can buy on Amazon for pretty reasonable money. Same with the valve core removal tool. Just makes things easier. This is our new tire. So what you want to make sure is you get the direction of rotation correct, which it should say on the tire. Yeah, so that looks like our direction arrow there. Yeah, so we're going to be going on this way. So what you want to do first is grease up these, and again, those actually come with the starter kit, which I have over here. And you don't want to put on too little, but you don't want to drown the thing either. But you do want to put on enough that not only does it make it easier for you to get the tire on, but also just for seating the bead later with air. It just helps to have that grease on there. So you don't want clumps anywhere, but a good coating the whole way around does definitely make your life easier. I have found Michelin's seat a lot easier than Dunlop's. I had, 2 sets of Dunlop Q5S's on the Z900RS, well, rears on the Z900RS for the track, one front, and to actually get that tire to seat on the bead, which is apparently just a problem with Dunlops in general, was very, very difficult. So then all you want to do is pop this on. You can just push usually one side on, like that, and then you can mount the other side. So one last time, always just check your directional arrow. Yes, we're good. And then basically the exact same thing as you just did, but in reverse. You want to lift your duck head up underneath the tire to get onto the rim, You can just lock your duck head in place then so it doesn't move around. Then, like I said, opposite of the last one, you're just gonna basically roll that over the duck head like so. Make sure your pin is still there to stop movement. Then you're just gonna work it around. And what you'll see I'm doing is, I'm gonna hold, you do actually get drop center. I just realized I never aimed the camera. But yeah, you're gonna see in my left hand, what I do is I just hold the tire iron once it falls off here, which kind of keeps the tire on the wheel. There are drop center tools as well, but I have always found this just as easy as using the drop center tool. Obviously that did not work. a bad example. So we'll go again. It's probably because I stopped and to re-record there, so anyway. There you go. So yeah, it's just because I stopped that it didn't work the first time. But that's it. That's your new tire mounted. And then to take this off, you just pop it out again, drop it down. They do say once you're finished with like the duck head tool and everything else, to clean it. But that's actually your tire mounted. That's the end of the Rabaconda's job. So what I'm going to do is just get this onto the bead, and then I will come back to you. Oh, one thing I do is I usually just kind of bounce the tire around like this. Kind of helps everything seat onto the beads. Anyway, I'll be back in a sec. And that's that. New tire, not only mounted, but onto the bead. And obviously I will balance this later because this is my SV650 for the track, so you don't want it balanced. So that's it. That's literally kind of the review while using the Rabaconda. We're going to write up some notes. Okay, so a couple of little key points here that I've done in. So in my local area, if I'm to take my wheels off, which you have to have the kit to do anyway for the Rabaconda, it costs about $30 per tire at Cycle Gear to get a tire changed if you buy the tire from Cycle Gear, right? So this is a little bit of an unfair comparison. So really what I've kind of gotten is, depending on where you go, you know, this could be as much as 50 a tire to get them mounted and balanced and whatever else. So do bear that into mind. And also you would have to obviously buy a balancer with this. Now I also did get a 25% discount. I can't spell discount. I reached out to Rabaconda originally, so that is a bit of a disclosure there. I think it was a 2025. I got it for $500. I got the starter kit for $500. So I did still spend a considerable amount of money on this system. But for me, it makes a lot of sense, and I'll explain why as we go through it. So, but just to really quickly, ease of use, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Some little things are slightly fiddly, especially if you do have older tires. And a lot of the time, hobbyists like myself, we buy older bikes, so they are a little bit stiffer, and they can be really difficult to break that bead. And I am a large person, so you know, definitely depending on the person, that 9 out of 10 could be lower. It really does depend on who you are, what size you are, what your strength is, do you have any injuries, etc. The value, I have it at 7 out of 10 depending. If you had friends, right? And I don't really have friends who live locally to me, but if you had friends who lived locally to you and a couple of you got together and bought one of these systems, or 4 you go to the track together, live close enough to swap it around and bought one of these systems, I think this is a 10 out of 10, easy, you know what I mean? Because, you know, that feeds into the durability. This is what, the 9th tire I've done. It's literally the same as when I bought it, other than like a couple of little scuffs and mars from me using it, which I mean, you'd expect. I'd rather the kind of replaceable pieces got scuffs and mars than wheels or whatever else. And part of that durability value piece is, you know, you can get a replaceable rubber piece for the duck head, you can get a replaceable rubber piece for the bead breaker, all those pieces are interchangeable. So I mean, if you do damage them over time, you can replace it and keep using the bulk of the system, which I really, really like. Spare parts in this day and age are key, and I'm really glad that they do offer that, because I think if they didn't, I would probably knock down a couple of pieces a lot. Weight, I gave it a 10 out of 10, but there is a caveat to that. We'll put a little star there. the weight, once you get it all into the bag, and it's really easy to pack it into the bag that it comes with, you can easily carry it one-handed. It fits nicely into your car if you're going to a track day, or if you have a truck or a van or whatever else, it'd fit even easier. It doesn't take up much space, very easy to store away on the side of the garage. Really, really does not get in the way. The only downside to that little caveat piece, is when you're like absolutely hanging on it, trying to get off, an older rubber tire like you saw me do, you'd actually probably rather some more weight down low just to kind of hold it in place. That's not something they offer, and honestly I think the trade-off would be that it's too hard to move around and whatnot. So I do think overall that the balance they have is better. So yeah, definitely for me it's a 10 out of 10 on that. Would I buy it again? So say this one got stolen tomorrow, or somehow disappeared, would I buy one again? Yes, I think it's really good value for me, because the thing is, it's not just about the cost to mount the tire and balance the tire. It's the cost to drive to the place you got to get it mounted. It's the time waiting there. It's the driving time. It's getting time in your day that you can actually do that. The fact that I can just do this at home, invaluable. Like literally whenever I need to do it, whatever time of day suits me, if it's middle of the night, I can do this, you know what I mean? Which is honestly of massive value to me. So that is a huge, huge part of it. Just the freedom to kind of be able to do it whenever you want. And like I said, for me, at some point, I'm sure I'll have friends who live close enough that might be able to use this system. Or maybe I can mount tires for people and make a little bit of money back that way. Who knows? Even the fact that I can bring it to the track, bring a spare set of tires just in case, I'll be able to do that if I do a two-day track weekend or something. So for me, the Rabaconda system overall, after using it for the last, 6 months or so, overall I would give it like a 9 or 10 out of 10. Obviously, the value, it is a big initial outlay. There's no getting around that. It's a lot of money. But again, I have 5 bikes in this garage right now. So for me, this makes complete sense. If you're a one bike person and you don't do much mileage, it probably doesn't make sense. So it really does fall down to use case. If you do projects, or if you have a lot of friends, or if you do a lot of track days, you go through a lot more tires, cumulatively, not just at the track, but if you have a lot of friends who do it. And like I said, just the freedom to be able to change it myself, the freedom to be able to do it for other people, honestly, that's invaluable, genuinely, because just from a timepiece, you know what I mean? I don't want to be driving and waiting in cycle gear for however long that I need to sometimes, and I definitely don't want to be giving my bike to a dealership to change them. So that's kind of where we are, I would never go back. The system is great, and comparing it to just using tire irons and whatnot, that is definitely an option. But I will say I have done tire changes with tire irons in the past. And even though I have like a kneeling mat and everything now for my knees, I have several injuries. And again, it's going to be a use case piece. Are you young, fit and healthy and able to just jump down on concrete floor on your knees, which I don't recommend ever, then maybe tire irons work better for you. But for someone who's, a little bit older or a little bit injured, whatever else, this thing saves so much time and takes so much pressure off me. You know what I mean? That's the key thing here, is just it doesn't hurt to use it, you know what I mean? And it saves me gallons of time. That is a UK gallon of time. That's 4.51 litres of time, which is a lot. No, but yeah, if you have any questions on this kit at all, if you have anything you'd like me to do with it more, if you want me to run through a setup and, oh, that's too zoomed in, there we go, a setup and breakdown piece of it, I can absolutely do that, show you it in the bag. Just let me know, I'll do a short on it or something like that. No problem at all. But yeah, overall, I really like this system. I would pay full price for it again now that I've used it. And if you have multiple bikes, or you like doing project bikes, or you do track days, or you have a group of friends, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. So yeah, that's it. If you watched, thank you very much for watching. As always, a very special thank you to all of my patrons. I really do appreciate all of your support. And also to Rabaconda for giving me the discount on this in the first place, and also making this system, because it's actually a really good piece of tech. I am a mechanical engineer, and I'm kind of pissed I didn't think of something like this myself. I could be not working for a corporation and maybe running my own business. So I probably need to start thinking about these things and try to come up with an idea that I can build myself. So yeah, I'll leave you on that weird note. thanks for watching. Like I said, any comments, leave them down in the comments and I'll reply. And yeah, hopefully this was useful. Hopefully this helps you make up your mind. And if you've liked the video, do please like it. It means a lot. And if you want to see more of my channel, hit the subscribe button. But other than that, thank you again. Adios. Outro crew. Just in case you're interested, I am running the Michelin Power Cup Evos on DSV. That's them there. So I'll let you know how they get on. I did also buy tire warmers because a very wise man named Chris Gray told me that you save a lot of time and money. You can just go out and have fun from the lap one. And I do think it also helps with longevity of tire. So would you like to use these Michelin Power Evos? And do you use tire warmers? Let me know. Bye, Outro crew.